Oh, anyway, it's very early, man. And what time do you go to bed?
A little late, 11
Mm,
or 10.
my God. So of course well, you sleep 7, 8 hours more or less, right? Happens, right? Yes. The limit.
Yes.
Okay, Nico. Well, my friend. Okay, guys, sorry for connecting a little bit late. I was in a previous class and I had to finish it like running out, but okay. Guys, the last class we finished the class with a question, which was, what is the most difficult part of fulfilling your dreams? And then you give me four different words. The first one was, sorry, let's change the color. The first one was the time. The second was money. I gave one which was fear, and someone else told me experience. Yes, those were the four difficult factors when it comes to fulfilling or completing or complying your dreams, right? Today we're going to start with one structure which is going to help us to express those kind of things, right? It's like opinions, but opinions about the specific actions, right? And giving my specific point of view with expressions such as the best part, the most difficult part, as we said before, the most challenging thing. What is the meaning of challenging, guys? Challenging.
Mayor reto.
Como retador, ¿cierto? Lo más retador. The most challenging thing of the worst part. One of the best things could be good or could be bad. One big challenge with, ready? But they are expressions that finish in preposition of, about, with, yeah? So that's why the last time the question was, what is the most difficult thing about fulfilling your dreams? Because we have the preposition about, and I want you to memorize this rule, and it's that every time that we have an expression that finish with preposition, different from two, preposition of, about, with, by, or any other kind of preposition that is not two, the next verb is going to be in gerund. So it was, what is the most difficult part of fulfilling, ing, your dreams, right? And that action, that fulfilling your dreams, is the gerund in the subject. Yes. So that is an expression or a situation here that we want to comment about, right? So you said that the most difficult part about fulfilling your dreams, and then we have clauses with verb to be, which is like a complementary clause, right? It's a subordinated clause in order to answer that question that I asked you before. What is the most difficult thing about your fulfilling your dreams? So you have time, money, fear, and experience. I told you, tell me just one word. But of course, it's not so easy as just saying one word. So we're going to complement it with complete sentences. Ready? In this case, the sentence can be a noun, ¿cierto? Nouns, which are these ones, sustantivos. Time, money, so son sustantivos. But it can be also an action related with that noun. Yeah? Because, for example, what is the problem with money? ¿El problema es tener mucho dinero o más bien el problema es no tener dinero? Of course, el problema es no tener dinero. Entonces, I can use only money, for example, saying like the most difficult part about fulfilling your dreams is the money. That's it. But if I want to be more specific, I want to, or I could express what action is specifically difficult with that noun. For example, the most difficult part about fulfilling your dreams is not having money. Here, this all expression is called double gerund. Why double gerund? Because in this case, we're going to have a gerund at the beginning and also a gerund at the end after the verb to be. Ready? So we have expressions at the beginning in gerund for saying the situation that we want to give my opinion about, and also gerund after the verb to be for giving specifically my opinion, right? Can be with just the noun or can be with a verb in ing and that noun. Ready? For example, if we find experience, yeah, Probably what is the difficulty with experience is getting the experience, ganarse or gaining experience, right? So in that case, I would say that the most difficult part about fulfilling my dreams is gaining, oh, sorry, gaining experience, right? With the verb in ing, right? So, or I can say the experience, solamente that's it. But of course, it's a little bit ambiguous, no? Like, what part of the experience? Ah, no, it's gaining the experience, the difficulty that we have. Ready? So we're going to have these kind of expressions in which we start with my opinion. How do I feel about it? Ah, the best part, the worst part, the most difficult part, the easiest part, whatever. And the part of what. So that's why it finishes with preposition, because la parte más difícil de, o la parte más difícil acerca de, so that's why we have preposition, and then the action, ¿no? Luego viene el gerundio, el primero. Then we have the verb to be, pero el verb to be puede ser is, are, can be, could be, might be, was, were, cualquier forma de verb to be. And then el segundo gerundio, the second gerund, for describing specifically what is my opinion. ¿Listo? So guys, for example, that I ask you like what is the most difficult part for fulfilling your dreams, but I want to ask you now, guys, what is the biggest challenge, like the biggest difficulty, but good difficulty, like challenge of growing up? What is the meaning of growing up?
Crecer.
Crecer, yeah, like madurar, crecer, right? I want you to tell me what is the biggest challenge of growing up?
The best. I know the best. Yeah, the best or the
The
most
biggest.
difficult
Oh, the most
part.
sí, puede ser the most
Yeah,
difficult part.
the most difficult part about growing up is paying debts or bills.
Yeah, that's difficult. Yes, very good. The biggest difficulty is paying debts, according to Laura. Very good. Thank you, Laura. What do you think, guys? What else? What other difficulties do you find in growing up?
I don't know. Maybe the most difficult part about growing up is doing all for yourself. I don't know if
Okay.
it's right to say
Yeah, that's right. Yes, exactly. Oh, doing all for yourself, by yourself could be.
by yourself. Okay.
Hmm. Good, very good. Yeah, because you're completely independent, so nobody's gonna help you out. Not your mom, not your grandma. It's you and you, right? Very good, Nico. Great. Cami, Jen, what do you think? Any ideas? Or maybe any questions on the structure, maybe?
No, it's
Mm.
clear. I only have a little question. The complement of the first part, for example, for example, of, about, of, it's only used for that the specific green part.
No, we can have many other expressions, no? For example, no sé, the advantage of, the advantage of, la ventaja de, could be un ejemplo, ¿no? Hay muchas opciones, ¿right? Desde que termine en preposición, cabe acá. La ventaja de, la desventaja de, la mejor parte de, la peor parte de, right?
Depend the context that you can say.
Totally. Exactly. Mhm.
Okay.
So, Camilo was going to give an opinion or a question. I don't know.
Teacher, opinion.
Yeah.
In my case, yeah, it could be maturing for for or because.
Depending. Depende de lo que
Okay,
venga después.
for the several situations that happened during this stage.
Excellent, very good. Ajá. Entonces, the biggest challenge of growing up for Camilo, it's maturing for, muy bien, ahí estuvo bien, for different or several situations that occur or happen in this stage. Guys, paréntesis rápido, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre for y because? De hecho, tenemos varias expresiones para expresar razón. For puede ser un sinónimo de because of y because solito, sin el of puede ser un sinónimo de since. Aquí también tenemos due to. Estas tres expresiones, guys, dan razón, dan cuenta de una razón, ¿sí? Pero van seguidas de un noun phrase. ¿Qué será un noun phrase? Una oración nominal, es decir, una oración que tenga lo que tenga, no tiene verbo. Cambio because y since, que significa porque, sí tiene una oración completa, a phrase, complete phrase, o sea, una oración con verbo, sujeto y toda la cosa. Ejemplo, en este caso, Camilo dijo a raíz de o a causa de diferentes situaciones, different situations. Different situations no tiene verbo, eso es una frase nominal, ¿cierto? En cambio, si hubiera dicho because, porque pasan muchas cosas o a la gente sufre muchas cosas, ahí está el verbo pasar o sufrir. Ahí tendría que usar because, ¿cierto? Entonces, si lo que viene después de la expresión es sujeto y verbo y complemento, uso estas dos, because o since, que es por qué, ta, 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 ta. En cambio, si lo que viene solamente es un noun phrase, puede ser un nombre, puede ser una cosa, un sustantivo, ¿cierto? Cualquier cosa, pero que no sea un verbo, voy a usar cualquiera de estas tres, que es debido a, por o a causa de, because of. ¿Listo? Para que lo tengan en cuenta con las expresiones de arrasa. ¿Listo, Gaby?
Okay, teacher.
Wonderful, very good. Bueno, guys, entonces, for me, and actually, I think it's kind of similar to what you have said so far. I think that one of the most difficult things, or one of the biggest challenge of growing up, is finding stability, and also it comes with finding a job, right? Because you stop having time, you start paying things, paying debts, right? You start growing up or maturing, yes, when you find a job. So today we are going to talk or emphasize our class in our jobs. Ready? So the question that I want to ask you next is this one. What is your job? The question, what is your job? It's a slang for saying, what is your job? Right? So what is your job, guys? What do you do?
My job,
Mhm.
profe, yo tenía entendido que jam es como favorito.
Ah, when I say also, that's my jam, is also,
Sí, como
yeah,
my
yeah.
jam.
Yeah,
Ah, ok.
it has different expressions, no?
Maybe
Context, yeah.
When I
like
say that's,
a
Slash.
problem,
tell me. Oh.
something like a problem or something similar.
Ah, no, what is your job? It's like, what do you do? What is your specific job? No, what is your profession? No, ¿cuál es tu profesión? Sino, what is your job literally, ready? Entonces, también está la expresión, that's my job, que es como, eso es lo mío, ¿cierto? Literalmente
Mhm,
es como,
yes.
eso es lo mío, right?
Okay.
But I can also ask, what is your job? And it's also similar to what is your job? What do you do normally on your
What do
daily
you
life?
do for a living?
Exactly, basically, what do you
Yeah.
do for a living?
Like more informal.
Exactly, that's a really slang of, like, what do you do for a living?
Okay.
So what do you do, guys? Remember that the profession is not the same as the job. For example, my profession, I am a philologist. I am a philologist specialized in English, and I am a magister in language didactics. That is my profession. Yes, that's my degree. But my job is English teacher and tutor. Yeah, that's what I do for a living, or English teacher, or well, as you can call it. Yeah, that's my job. That is a little bit, it's not basically different, but it's something more specific than my whole profession. Now, what about you?
My case, I am a designer,
Designer, industrial designer, graphic designer,
graphic designer,
software designer,
graphic designer.
graphic designer. Okay, Nico, very good. Great, excellent. Mrs. Jennifer, Mrs. Camilo. Jennifer, dale.
Hello, teacher. I am administrative assistant
Administrative
at
assistant.
the Universidad Pedagógica Nacional.
Ah, yeah, yeah, I remember. Yes,
Yes.
very good. You are administrative assistant at the PEDA. Yes, very good. Muy
En
bien.
este caso, yo
Sí.
quisiera preguntarle, profe, para decir Universidad Pedagógica Nacional, ¿lo digo así en español o digo National Pedagogic University?
Las instituciones muy grandes, como por ejemplo la pedagógica, en general tienen traducción el nombre. Si fuera una institución más
Mm,
pequeñita, tal vez no. Entonces, hay algunos nombres que tienen una traducción estandarizada, es decir, oficial, pues, una traducción oficial. En el caso de la Universidad Pedagógica es National Pedagogical University, which is the acronym, ¿cierto?
yes.
But for example, if I have colegio, no sé qué cosas, uno chiquitico, el nombre queda igual. Depende de si ya hay una traducción establecida para el nombre o no.
Ah, okay, teacher. Thank you.
Ready? Yes. Okay, very good. So, administrative assistant. Mr. Camilo, what about you, Mike?
Teacher, I have a question.
Mhm.
Cuando yo quiero decir, digamos, en esto, o sea, digamos, yo hago esto, en esto. O sea, ¿te puedo decir el inde o ya suena muy relevante o...
Depending. For example, I design blah 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 in ta company, for example.
exacto, quiero decir, en esta área, en esta compañía.
Ah, no, yeah, yeah. You can say in this area, in this company.
Ah, ok,
No es necesario usar
ok,
el in the, sino in solamente. Y, por ejemplo, no sé, in the support, in the human resources, at, podemos usar at con el nombre de la compañía, at Smart, no sé, en mi caso, por ejemplo, ¿cierto?
ok,
Pero usamos at también.
ok. In my case, I'm a freight forwarder in ocean area in DHL.
Ah, DHL, DHL.
DHL,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. Okay.
Freight forwarder, general.
What is fight forwarder? What is that?
Um,
Bueno,
hmm.
piénsalo porque de hecho es lo que vamos a hacer hoy. Me vas a explicar what is that, pero en un segundito. Right?
Okay, Tish.
Very
Okay,
good.
okay.
Listo. Lau, what about you, my dear?
I am a psychologist, but I am unemployed. I
Okay.
am looking for a job.
Okay, great. Are you
Yes,
looking for your kids or something?
for a job.
Ah, okay, very good. That's great. But
Yes,
are you a mom?
yes, I am a mom. Oh, yes, of
Okay,
course.
very good. Okay, guys. So in that case, you already told me what you do. Yeah. So, well, if you're working or if not, but that is your job, right? So, guys, in this case, I probably know or I probably don't know specifically what is the functions of your work. For example, an administrative assistant is a person who has a lot of different functions, no? Depending on the place, it's a person who has one responsibility or many responsibilities, right? An administrative assistant who works at a university, like Jennifer, maybe can have millions of tasks, right? Regarding, I don't know, probably science enrollment, which is like matriculas, right? Or payment, depending on the department. Yeah. So when I want to add more information to a subject, you know that we can use relative clauses. The relative clauses basically are words with WH, who, which, where, when. That's it, right? And you know that when we talk about people, we focus with who, yeah? And we could say that, okay, is a person who, blah, blah, blah. When I introduce the subject for the first time, I can say that it's a person who, blah, 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 with the defining clauses, right? The defining clauses are sentences complete composed by the subject and a relative clause, which is who, in the case that we are talking about people, but can be which or when or where, and in this case, the idea is that introduces extra information. But the first part, it means this part, it's dedicated to define the subject. right? So I could say, for example, that administrative assistant is I can say, for example, profession or professional or a person or a worker or an employee. What is the meaning of employee?
Empleado.
Empleado.
Empleado, very good, yes. Employee, empleado, employer, empleador, y empleability, empleabilidad. That's the one, ready? So in that case, it's y ustedes pues deciden qué adjetivo ponerle, ¿cierto? ¿Qué sustantivo ponerle, perdón? Employee, professional, person, woman, man, whatever, ¿cierto? And then in the second part, of course, we use who and then the real information. Yeah. For example, I am going to tell you that language, didactics magister, of course, is a person, ¿cierto? Because it's not a machine, it's a person who designs and develops strategies and techniques for improving and analyzing and improving the learning process of the students, right? Basically, that's what I do in my free time, of course, no, when I am not in class. So that is the essential information of my job. I am introducing my functions for the first time, right? That is when I want to like introduce my profession, yes? And that is with a defining clause. Simple, yeah? But if I want to give more information, but about somebody that it's already known, I use clauses, but not defining clauses. I am going to use non-defining clause. Ready? We're going to go there for a second. But first, I want you to tell me what is your basic description of your job. Who is a psychologist? Who is a graphic designer? Who is an administrative assistant? Or who is I forget the name, forward, forwarder? How was it? Camille, how was the name of your profession? Of your job, sorry.
Okay, teacher. In my case, it's freight forwarder.
Okay. And who is that person? What do you do?
Okay, teacher. Um, a freight forwarder is a specialist that he check the shipments, the several shipments with a difference or only client in specific. So freight forwarder um, handle all uh, all process in the logistic. For example, mm,
But with a specific client, you said. With one specific client.
could be or difference, but smaller
Yeah.
clients.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
That's your
depending.
That is your basic information. Great. That is all that I needed to know at the beginning. So that is the first information that you want to include. So it's an specialist. That is an important thing. That is an specialist that is in charge of the shipment or it's in charge of the logistic part of one shipment. Ta, 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 right? Great. Excellent, Kevin. That's great.
Okay, Tish. Okay,
What
thanks.
about a psychologist, Lau? How could you explain briefly what is a psychologist?
Mm, a psychologist is a person who focuses in mental health and emotional well-being.
Marvelous, very good. Simple as that. It's a person who focused in mental health
Mental health.
and well-being. Yes,
Yeah,
personal,
emotional well-being.
emotional well-being. Very good. Excellent, Laura. That's your basic job description. Thank you, Laura. Mrs. Jennifer, what about you?
Um, administrative assistant is the person who make the teacher's work. plans for the semester.
Okay, very good. Well, administrative assistant, it probably it's a different thing, but
Yeah,
your job, you as administrative assistant, you are a person who develops the
y-
semester's plan, right?
yeah. I do more functions, but is that very important?
That is the basic one, like the most important one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, teacher.
thank you. Yeah, very good. And Nicholas, what about you? Graphic designer? Hmm.
As a graphic designer, I can design all kind of pieces from digital to print pieces, all kind of pieces that you can imagine. In my case, I design digital graphic pieces for a company for the e-commerce and web pieces and advertising. I create all kind of pieces for advertising in general
Very.
for digital channel.
Okay, Nico, what company is that?
That name is Savi. It's a company that sells nutritional and healthy food
Okay.
like protein, magnesium, all kind of food, healthy food.
Okay, very good. And supplements too, like pre-workouts or something like that.
Yes, all kind of food and supplements
Mm-hmm.
for the healthy people in
Great.
general.
Excellent, very good, guys. So basically, what you did basically just did is describing your job for a person who doesn't know anything about it, right? It was me. So you said, teacher, I am a person who, blah, blah, blah. Or, for example, Camilo used that. I'm a person that, blah, blah, blah. Remember that who is also replaceable for that in the more conversational context. Yes? So that's what I do with a defining clause. Yeah? A taxi driver is a person who carries people around the city, something like that. It's just the basic description. Yes. The first sentence has to be described. Is a person, is a professional, is an specialist, is a designer, is a, I don't know, is how do you say that? Doctor, is a licensed, it's a bachelor, it's a, depending the description that we want to add. Yes. Sorry, but if the information is deeper and it's something that I mean, I am not describing the person, I am not presenting the person, I'm going to use a clause, but if the clause is non-defining clauses, in which the structure is going to be different. In the previous one, I have the subject, the defining clause, sorry, yes, the defining sentence, the relative clause, and then the information of that I want to say, right? No commas, no nothing. The relative clause matches the two sentences, and that's it. But in the second part, or in the non-defining clauses, the structure is different, right? This non-defining clause is not presenting the subject for the first time. It's making a clarification about that subject. It's making or giving complementary information about the subject. It's a subject that you previously know, right? For example, philologist. Have you ever listened about that major?
Come again?
Have you ever listened about that major, about that profession, the
Oh,
philology?
yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
What have you ever listened about it, about philologist?
The study of the languages.
Yes, very good. So, for example, if I am talking to Laura, I don't have to present the major because she already knew what was that. But if I'm talking to maybe Jen or Camilo or Nico, that probably they haven't listened about that major before, said, no teacher, I have never listened about it. So I said, ah, okay, listo. The philologists are people who study one specific language. And that is a defining clause, of course. I am presenting the subject for the first time. Yeah, I'm saying that the philologists are people defining, ¿cierto? And then the real information that is that they study in a specific language and that's it. But the second time that I mention the philologist, I'm not going to use again this sentence because it's not presented for the first time. Then I want to introduce other information. I can do it like this. The subject, comma, and the non-defining clause. This information in the middle of the commas, it's complementary information. It's not essential information. It's something that is complementary. It's a clarification that I want to make. And after the second comma, then I'm going to come out with my real information, with what I want to say about them, right? So again, if I'm talking about people, the relative clause is who. Yeah. Just that in that case, the information here, it's only a clarification. For example, I'm saying the philologists who work as interpreters, yes. What I want to say is that the philologists can earn good money. Yeah. But not all of them. Which ones? Specifically, especially the ones who work as an interpreter. Yeah. So that information in the middle of the two commas is giving or making a clarification about the information that I am about to say at the end. Yeah. For example, Mrs. Jennifer, help me to read the yellow example, please.
Laura, who works really hard, earns good money.
Money. Actually, it's the same example that we heard, but very good. So a lawyer earns good money, but not all of them. Which ones? Ah, the ones who work really hard. That is the clarification that I want to make, right? Coming in number two, or the white example, please.
A video game which is for adults is more expensive.
Very good. A video game is more expensive, but which ones? Ah, the ones which are for adults. Perfect. Very good. Okay. Lau, my dear, number three.
A party where you can relax is more satisfying.
Exactly. So a party where you can relax is more satisfying. Okay, so not all the parties are satisfying, but the ones where you can relax is more satisfying, right? So those sentences, those clauses, which are non-defining, are also necessary, of course, but they give me like a more clear idea of something that I previously knew. I am not presenting the subject here. I am just giving other information and making a clarification about that information that I gave, right? How do you feel, guys? Questions, problems about it? Good, no problem.
Profe,
Mhm.
esas cláusulas se utilizan más cuando uno va a dar una opinión o en qué momento nosotros hablamos de esa forma en inglés.
Especially when you are talking about when you are starting the conversation and introducing the person. For example, ya conocemos a Camilo, pero conocemos
Ujú,
muchos Camilos, right?
ok.
Entonces, yo nos estoy hablando contigo y te digo, ay, sí, ¿te acuerdas de Camilo? Camilo, el que trabaja con DHL, ¿sí te acuerdas? Right? Entonces, te voy a decir algo sobre
Ujú,
Camilo, pero para aclarar cuál Camilo, tengo que hacer esa cláusula en la mitad, right? Entonces te digo, ah, es que no,
mm,
imagínate que Camilo, el que trabaja en DHL, él tiene un doctorado en ta, 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 ¿sí? Entonces, lo que yo quiero decir es lo del final, pero uso esa
sí,
cláusula como una claridad para, como un paréntesis, para aclarar algo de la información final o
de esto.
aclarar algo del sujeto inicial, right?
Ok, ok. Ya
¿Listo?
entiendo. Gracias.
Yes, very good. Guys, any other questions, problems so far?
No, teacher, for the moment is clear.
Listo, very good, excellent. Entonces, guys, the first part was telling me who is a graphic designer, who is a psychologist, right? Now, I don't want you to present your jobs. I want you to tell me something that I don't know or something that is not so common to tell about your job. For example, no sé, comes to my mind. A teacher who works online has much more free time than bueno, has much more free time. Obviamente se sabe que en comparación con uno que no, ¿cierto? Entonces, a teacher who works online has much more free time. Probably you not, probably you knew, probably you didn't know, but that's something that I want to tell you. What about you? What can you tell me about your jobs that is not commonly said, that not everybody knows?
Maybe a psychologist who earns less money than others' careers. Could be. Is an example.
Yes, but you missed the last information. O sea, hasta ahí vas en la segunda coma, right? So you said, a psychology who earns less money than other careers. ¿Qué? ¿Qué pasa con ellos, right? Se dice, no sé, por ejemplo, tienen que trabajar más que otras carreras, right? O, no sé, sufren de estrés más que otras carreras, right? O sea, lo que estás diciendo hasta el momento es como los psicólogos, quienes ganan menos que otras carreras, ¿qué? ¿Ves? Me falta la última cláusula, right?
Ahí va con that o otra vez con who,
No,
no.
ahí ya iría sin cláusula, sin relative
El
clause.
verbo normal.
Exactamente.
Mm, Bueno, has to work, em, has to work a lot of hours. I don't know.
Excellent, very good.
Mm.
Entonces, a psychologist who earns less
Who
than other
earns
careers.
less than other careers has to work a lot of time.
Perfecto. Entonces, es como ese contraste, como
Okay.
tiene que trabajar más, pero aún así ganan menos, ¿cierto? Entonces, los
Oh,
psicólogos, quienes ganan menos, tienen que trabajar más horas. All right?
ujú.
Excellent, Lau. Very good. Guys, Cami, Nico, bien.
Teacher.
Ujú.
Hmm. Mm, I don't know. A freight forwarder. Who? Um, but is first the adjective or
Is the verb, Cami. So, depending. For example, a fight forwarder who is and the characteristic. For example, who is really good and then comma and then the other information.
okay? Is really uh, I don't think
Don't worry.
a free forwarder who is uh, a specialist person that um,
That one, esa sería una oración normal, con cláusula definida porque estás presentando como es un especialista que. Pero en esta no estamos presentando. Ya sabemos que a Fight Forward es un especialista. Lo que queremos es, no sé, por ejemplo, decir como, es que los que trabajan, los Fight Forwarders que trabajan en, no sé, en Buenaventura, por ejemplo, les pagan más, right?
okay, okay, in some a freight forwarder who is in US, for example, my case, has to contact clients or suppliers abroad.
Esa es, that's it, right? Entonces, for example, a freight forwarder who works in US or who is working with a American company, like me, like me,
Mm-hmm.
has to contact suppliers in English and so on, so on. Es that's the one. Que no me estás presentando a nadie, sino me estás diciendo los que trabajan en Estados Unidos como yo, tienen que contactarlos, ta, 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 ta. Esa clarificación que, es que son los que trabajan en Estados Unidos. Eso es lo que quiero hacer en esta cláusula que no es definitoria. ¿Listo? ¿Ready?
Okay, teacher, for that I need urgently the the English.
Ah, yes, of course, yes. But so far you're doing a fine job. Don't worry, you are in the right way. Todo bien, Cami, that you are doing fine, okay?
Okay, teacher. Thanks.
Bueno, Mai. So, Nico,
For example, a graphic designer who works very hard and wants to earn more can specialize in different things to be more competitive.
exactly. Very good. Even two verbs, no? So, a graphic designer who works really hard and wants to earn more money, especially those graphic designers, can specialize in other different things. Perfecto. That's the thing. Excellent, Nico. And my dear Jennifer,
Um, a business administration who works really hard, earns a lot of time, organize academic events.
bueno, en ese caso no gana tiempo, sino gasta tiempo, spend time, right?
Uh, Spain, yeah. Oh, sorry, teacher.
No, no, it's fine, no worries, very good. Entonces, muy bien. A business administrator who works really hard or who works for a university spends a lot of time organizing what?
Academic events.
Academic events. Very good. That's it. ¿Listo? Entonces, guys,
Okay.
en cuanto a dar información sobre, puede ser su profe, en este caso lo aplicamos a la profesión, pero puede ser cualquier cosa. Si se dan cuenta, puede ser un objeto con which, ¿cierto? Puede ser un objeto como video game con which, un lugar con where, un momento con when, la relative clause que ustedes quieran, ¿right? Pero en este caso, las non-defining clauses me ayudan es a eso, a hacer un pequeño paréntesis para añadir información un poquito más específica, ¿right? Y las defining clauses son las que me ayudan a presentar ese sujeto, a decir, mire, esto es una cosa que tal cosa. Por ejemplo, a ver, wait. Guys, do you have any idea what is FC25? ¿Saben qué es eso? FC25?
No clue.
No clue. For example, guys, Laura no sabe qué es. Nico, Cami, do you know? FC25?
Mm, maybe football club? Nah.
And what is that? ¿Eso qué es? ¿Es un programa? ¿Es una canción? What is that?
Okay. FIFA.
Esa video game. Esa es una cláusula definitiva, ¿cierto? Definitoria, perdón. Donde me dice, ¿qué es esto? Ah, FC25. It's a video game which, obvio porque es un objeto, ¿cierto? Which is about soccer, ta, 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 o which is from Electronic Sports Studios, lo que sea. Pero me está presentando en la primera parte, ¿sí? Entonces, it's a video game. Ahora que Laura ya sabe que FC25 is a video game, ¿sí? I am going to tell you that FC, which has more license, tiene más licencias, which has more licenses, is more expensive. Pero aquí yo ya no le estoy presentando que es FC25, ya le dijimos que era, ¿cierto? Entonces, en este caso, este paréntesis que tengo acá solamente me está explicando por qué es más caro. ¿Por qué es más caro? Porque tiene más licencias, ¿right? Entonces, es que el FC25 que tiene más licencias es más caro, ¿right? Entonces, esa es la diferencia entre una defining clause y una non-defining clause. ¿Más o menos? ¿Better?
Okay, teacher.
Yes. My
Yes,
dear
teacher.
lady. Lau, perdóname.
No, all clear.
All clear. Listo. Thank you so much. So, finally, we already talked about how to describe my job and how to describe my accomplishments and goals the last time, and how to describe my opinion about different situations, the best part, the most difficult part. The last part that we're going to talk about is how to describe a process. A process, for example, in my job or a process in my life. Ready? In the questions of the last time, of the infographic that we saw the last time, I told you that the question number three, it was going to be for today. The question number three says, which are the steps to achieve that goal? What is the meaning of steps, guys?
Pasos.
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 Exactly. So when we talk about the steps, is that we are going to describe a process. A process, normally, it's something that it's impersonal. So, as it is something impersonal, we don't use a subject, and normally we use the passive voice. But in this case, when we describe processes or when we give impersonal suggestions, the most common thing is that we use modal verbs in passive voice. The modal verbs in passive voice is something super mega simple. Yes. Why? Because it's just putting the verb, the modal verb, be, and then the verb in past participle. Can be, should be, could be, have to be, has to be, need to be. It's just combining be and the verb in past participle with the modal verb for describing the steps that we have to give. For example, Nico is a graphic designer. In his job, I suppose that there should be a regular conduct. Yeah. It's not that he designs the piece and he publishes right away. No, he has to respect a process. In the same way, for example, Laura with her patients, she has to respect a certain process. So those processes are described with this structure. But it can be applied also for processes in life. When I say, for example, okay, what are the steps to achieve that goal? The goal of 5 apartments that Laura said before that she wants to or she would like to have bought 5 apartments by the time she's 50. Okay, and what are the steps? So in that case, we're going to use the object first, and then we follow this structure. For example, with the example of Nicholas, right? We could say that the design, the first design, the initial design, has to be, no sé, sent to the supervisor. Has to be sent, sorry, sent with T, past participle, sent to the supervisor. Second part, the design must be approved by the supervisor, of course. Yeah. Then the first sketch, no sé, something like that, or the idea has to be improved by the designer, en este caso by Nicholas. Yes. And finally, the final design must be approved by the producer or something like that. But in that case, we use passive voice with modal verbs for describing what should be or what must be done in a process. That, of course, if I use can, could, or should, it's something possible. It's a possibility. Should, especially, it's a recommendation that, hey, it should be done. It's a good idea. Must, it's an obligation. Yeah. For example, in the class of English with you, an activity could be done at the beginning. It's a possibility. But the central topic of the class must be explained. That is an obligation. Yeah. So there I can use these modal verbs for describing parts of a process, depending if it's a mandatory part or mandatory step or not. It depends if I use what modal verb I use, right? How do you feel? Más o menos, more or less?
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
Uh, what model is higher? May or might?
They are almost the same, but
Mm-hmm.
impossibility, it's less possible, might.
Okay.
When we talk about possibility. But, for example, for politeness, como para elegancia y eso, it's better may, because may is asking for a permission. Might no, right? Entonces, might es menos posible que may cuando hablamos de posibilidad. Pero cuando hablamos de permiso, elegancia y eso, es más usado, o digamos que es más elegante o más formal, may. ¿Listo? Entonces, depende del uso del cual estemos hablando, va a ser uno más alto que el otro. ¿Ready?
Okay, teacher, okay.
En este caso, como es de posibilidad, son básicamente lo mismo could, may y might. Es como algo que podría ser hecho, pero no problem, right?
Oh, pues, ok, teacher, es que yo había visto en el anterior ejercicio que,
Ujú.
bueno, en la anterior semana, que decía que lo más probable era could si no estoy mal, que must. Entonces no entendía por qué sí must casi siempre era lo más fuerte, ¿no?
Sí, sí, sí. No, te acuerdas que hablamos que en cuanto a posibilidad y
Ujú.
posibilidad en el pasado, va must, could, may y might.
Exacto, entonces no sé por qué en ese
Maybe
momento.
there was a mistake.
Sí, 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 entonces me pareció curioso.
Yes. Yes, no, en cuanto a posibilidad, sí. Si es en posibilidad en el presente, must no se usa tanto para posibilidad en el presente, porque must en el presente es una obligación. Pero en el pasado sí es con el orden que miramos, que vimos la vez pasada. Pero si es una posibilidad en el presente, sí must queda más relegado como obligación y could, may y might sí siguen siendo para posibilidad.
No, ok, teacher,
Maybe
thanks.
it could be that, right? Bueno, guys, very good. So, pregunta rápida así, como para que practiquemos solo una vez. How, how is rice prepared? How is rice prepared? What are the steps?
An eggplant or broccoli?
Well, I was talking about rice, but if you want to prepare broccoli, it's fine. No, but something easier. Rice. Rice is fine.
Oh, okay, right,
Yeah.
right.
So, what do you think? How is it prepared? The rice, not the broccoli, the rice. What is the first part? What do you do next?
Teacher, first, we could, um, I don't know, I could um, need or needed three or two. Uh, how do you say? I don't remember right now. Uh, como tazas, glasses
Bueno, en este caso,
of
cups.
okay cups of rice and the double quarting. No, ¿cómo es? How do you
Cups.
say? Sí, 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 pero como es que no recuerdo cómo era cantidad,
Quantity or amount.
quantity or amount, yeah, of water and with salt and onion.
Listo. Very good. Entonces, eso tiene unos pasos, ¿cierto? Que las tazas de
Okay.
agua, las tazas de arroz. ¿Qué se echa primero, guys? ¿El arroz o el agua?
Mm,
The right.
The rice.
yeah.
Bueno, en realidad primero hay que lavar el arroz, ¿cierto? El arroz debe ser lavado, right? Bueno,
No, yo
depende de
no lo
la...
lavo.
No, no lo... Pay attention.
No, nunca.
Entonces no es una obligación, es una de pronto posibilidad, ¿cierto?
It might be. It might be
Excelente.
prepared with water and salt.
Exacto. Entonces en este caso, bien, ya vemos que hay cosas que son obligatorias como otras que no, ¿cierto? En my house, rice, recuerden que es voz pasiva, así que tengo que pasar el objeto al inicio. ¿Ready? Cami dice, we could, ni ta, ta, ta. Pero, ¿quiénes somos we? Nosotros, todo el mundo que lo quiera preparar o quién. Como el sujeto no es claro, voy a usar passive voice, es decir, que tengo que usar el objeto primero. Entonces, rice could be washed. Si quiere, si no, está bien, no problem. Entonces, the rice could be washed. Yes. Pero lo que sí, 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 es que the rice must, bueno, rice must be mixed with, ¿con qué? With must be mixed with,
Water,
Sí.
onion.
exactly,
Ah,
with
okay, water.
water, onion and salt. Mínimo, mínimo, para que le sepa algo, eso, ¿cierto? Entonces, eso sí es obligación. The rice must be mixed, right? Entonces, tengan cuidado, uno, con el cambio del objeto, porque lo que va a pasar acá no es el sujeto, sino el objeto. Tal cosa debe ser hecha. Tal cosa, por ejemplo, en el ejemplo de Nico, el diseño debe ser aprobado. No dijimos que el supervisor debe aprobar el diseño, sino al revés. El diseño debe ser aprobado por no sé quién. La idea original debe ser dibujada o presentada, ¿cierto? Es el objeto el que va primero para poder usar la voz pasiva. Ya ahí sí puedo usar can o could o el modal que yo quiera, be y luego el verb en past participle. Por ejemplo, es tres copas de arroz. Tres copas, tres tazas de arroz, ¿right? Entonces, en vez de decir we could need, podemos usar that. Three cups of rice can. Puede que sean dos, ¿no? De pronto sí es más poquita gente, pero normalmente tres, right? So, but three cups of rice can be added. What's the meaning of added?
Añadir.
Añadidas o agregadas, ¿cierto? That's it. Siguiente paso. Six cups of water must be added. Siguiente paso. A piece of onion should be chopped or should be included, ¿cierto? Siguiente paso. A pinch of salt can be added. Entonces siempre es el objeto el que va a ir primero cuando voy a usar la voz pasiva. ¿Listo, guys? ¿Ready? ¿Qué tal? ¿Más o menos a little bit better?
It's clear, teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, teacher, clear.
Felicito. Muy bien, very good. Entonces, my dear guys, obvio, básicamente esto pues estamos hablando de arroz, pero se puede aplicar a cualquier proceso, proceso en mi trabajo, un proceso en mi vida, whatever. Entonces, no, bueno, what is the steps to achieve that goal? El goal de las cinco casas, right? Laura dice, no, vea, primero los préstamos se tienen que solicitar, right? O tienen que ser solicitados. Entonces, bueno, the loans must be requested to the bank. Second, the house should be looked for in applications or the newspaper. Later, the deal, o sea, el trato, the deal has to be done with the seller. Y así, ¿cierto? Entonces puedo aplicar esta estructura para escribir procesos impersonales, donde la persona como tal no es, no es alguien en específico, sino cualquier persona que quiera hacer esto va a tener que seguir este proceso. Por lo tanto, se hace en voz pasiva. Se incluyen modales para decir si ese paso es obligatorio o no, si es una opción, si es una buena idea, si es una obligación o what. ¿Listo? Entonces, my dear guys, recuerden que esta era la última semana, la última clase de este nivel. ¿Listo? Entonces, usen lo que queda del fin de semana para acabar las clases. El lunes, como siempre, yo les dejo para que terminen también de avanzar. ¿Listo? Y ya la próxima semana, el martes, empezamos con las clases. ¿Listo? De la próxima semana. Bueno, voy a ver si la dejo el martes o el jueves para que tengan tiempo de terminar y puedan pasar al siguiente nivel. Y pues la siguiente semana tenemos dos clasecitas, 1.1 y 1.2. Entonces ahí nos vemos en el siguiente nivel. Recuerden que tienen que finalizar las 8 semanas, checkpoint 7 y 8, checkpoint final y encuesta de satisfacción para que se les abra el siguiente nivel. ¿Vale? Cualquier cosita me escriben, estoy súper atento y ya, pues nos vemos la próxima semana en clase. ¿Listo, guys? ¿Ready?
Okay, teacher, thank you very much.
Okay,
Chaito,
Thank you,
teacher.
chaito.
Good
teacher.
Have a
night.
good night.
Good night. Have
Bye.
a good night too.
You too. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.